2 weeks ago, I shared this video on Instagram.
So we have just sold another deal. Like, you talking about it, it's just like making me overwhelmed. Just so fucking happy. It doesn't even look it, but I am.
But what I didn't share was the following 14 days after it, I just completely spiraled into a burnout, right? Like, I'm talking, I was exhausted, my whole body was sore, I had to take time off work. Couldn't go to viewings, analysing properties was out of the question, and just sending an email felt like I was running a 10k. And I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but honestly at the time, that's what it felt like. So in this video, I'm wanting to explore why that's the case. Like, why can you go from being so happy, like you cry, like you're on top of the world, to burning out within a day, So I want to explore that. I'm also wanting to explore what burnout is, how to identify it, the cause of it, and the solution that I came up with for me that seemed to have worked. And I'm also going to share the one piece of advice that my fiance gave me, and it made it all go away within hours. I'm being serious. Like, this piece of advice is, for me anyway, life-changing. But I am going to throw out a little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm not an expert in this sort of thing. This is just what I done. It's what worked for me. And if you are experiencing a burnout, but it's going on for a long time, then I don't know, maybe seek some professional help, speak to someone. And yeah, this is just what worked for me, and I hope it helps. So if you don't know who I am and you're wondering who this kid is and why you should listen to him, I'm Scott McPherson, and I own these two companies. And basically, I just help people have their money put to work for them without them having to lift a finger, and I do it through property investment. And I started from scratch at the start of last year, and I'm still building these companies. So my goal is just to simply share every lesson I learn in the hopes that it helps people that are going through what I have been and I still am going through. Now I'm going to stop wasting your time and finally get to the video. So I've Googled it. And it says, burnout is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that can result from chronic workplace stress that has not been managed successfully. And that hits the nail on the head for me. That's exactly what it was for me. I was mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. And I didn't manage fuck all. I didn't manage nothing. Okay, so I had no control over anything, or I could have controlled it. I just disregarded it. And next up, we have... This is where it gets good. Cause. What caused it? All right, I have to be 2 seconds. I have to get a book. Now, this is one of Lauren's acting books. And when I was opening up to her about this, about what I was going through, she stopped what I was saying and ran and got this book, because she knows me better than I do, man. It's pretty cool. But she found this page and threw it in my face and said, look at this. All right, you're not going to be able to see it. I'm going to draw it. So here I have drawn the diagram that from Lauren's book. Basically, when I opened up to her and I said exactly how I'm feeling, and it was tough, basically just saying to someone that you care about, like, how much you're struggling, she stopped what I was saying and she ran and got this book. And then this book was this diagram. So we got the left brain and we got the right brain. The left brain, sequence analysis, linear math, language, verbal, logic, and the right brain is intuition, creative, arts, feelings, rhythm, nonverbal, and imagination. Now, in order to do what I do in property investment, owning a business and all that jazz, right, I have to primarily be this side. This is a lot of it. Some of it is used, like some of this side is used, and through content creation and say, I don't know, marketing, branding and all that whatnot. But mainly it's this side. I'm this side. And I know it says arts, and I know that's terrible. Don't worry about that. This was rushed. I am this side, though. Like, this is who I am as a person to my core. But for the last couple of years, I've had to force myself being this side. Now, have you ever thought of a time where you've had to pretend to be someone that you're not? Maybe, I don't know, like something as simple as a networking event. You have to go there, stand up and sell your services and sell who you are. And it kind of, at the start, doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel authentic. But it's what's required. That's what you need to do in order to grow. This has been me, and I've completely abandoned this. So when she showed this to me, it was just like, holy shit. It was just, lack of a better words, it was fucking life-changing, to be honest, because I didn't, first of all, I didn't know I was this person. She knew me, but I now had a plan. I now knew what the cause of what this burnout was, because a lot of the stress came from what the fuck is causing it. What is causing it? Like, I was just crying. I was so happy. What is causing it? And she came up with a solution, and she came up with a cause instantly. Now, I do have other solutions that I'm going to go through later on that I've actually put in place, like physical solutions that I put in place. But for now, that is what I believe to be the cause. Now we're going to go through. My God, where is it? So next up, this is an important one. It's identify. How do you identify? Oh my God, focus. How do you identify that a burnout is coming, right? How do you know it's a burnout? How do you know you're not just feeling sick, right? It could be just a flu. So for me, when it comes to burning out, I know that it's coming up when small tasks start to feel like moving a mountain, right? When I'm starting to feel like, oh my God, I can't send an email. Like, oh my God, like I can't reply to this person. You know, like the small things just feel huge, right? And obviously my body starts to get sore. Like it's usually my legs. Like my legs start to get sore, my arms start to get sore, and then I'm like, all right, something's wrong here. So I then ask myself 4 questions, and the first one is, am I eating healthy? The answer to that was just a flat no. Absolutely not. The second one, am I resting enough? Again, that was no. I was working every minute of the day I could, sleeping 5 or 6 hours a day, because I couldn't not work. When I stopped working, I felt unproductive, I felt crap. So I was working all the time. The next question I ask is, am I exercising? I ain't doing no exercise, man. Like, I ain't doing nothing. I am just sitting at this desk or in my bed or on a chair whilst lifeguarding. I'm just sitting most of the time, not exercising. And it's funny because I went to boxing a few weeks ago, and I absolutely loved it. When I was there, I was like, holy shit, like this is amazing. Like I felt all this like stress relief and met people there, had a laugh. It was just amazing, and didn't go back because in my head I was not working. I wasn't moving the needle forward. So I abandoned exercise. And to touch on why I wasn't eating healthy, I thought if I was cooking, I wasn't getting work done. So I just had ready meals. I'd have crisps. Everything I had came out of a packet or a box, right? It was just, it was destined for failure. And the final question I asked myself is, am I doing things that I enjoy? Now, I have a guitar back there. I haven't picked up in months. Again, with boxing, I enjoy that. I haven't done it in ages. And the content I was creating for a long time, I'd say the last few weeks I've enjoyed that, but for the longest time, the content I was creating, I didn't enjoy it. And the business side of things, like I really enjoy refurbs. I really enjoy, I don't know, going to networking events and meeting people and, you know, out in the field stuff. I really enjoy that. But for the whole time, for a long time, it's just been sat in emails, texts, property analysis, you know, like all of these just sat at a computer tasks. And I know I've been going to a few viewings and stuff, but I think there's other things that I enjoy in it. So whether it was business or personal life, I just wasn't doing things I enjoy. So I wasn't eating healthy, wasn't exercising, wasn't resting, and I wasn't doing things I enjoy. I was on a one-way path to burning out. So I have a solution for each one. And the first one is get a chest freezer. And I know that sounds mental, right? But we live in a studio. Me and Lauren, we live in a studio because all of our money's going to acting and property. So in a studio, we have like a small compact fridge with one drawer as a freezer. And I like meal prep. I like preparing all my meals at the start of the week so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week. So in this sense, I'm still getting to do like all the work that I want to do, but I also get the benefits of eating healthy. So I decided to get a chest freezer that has 3 drawers. Bougie, right? That's so posh. Can't believe it. Like that's big time for us. So I'm going to start meal prep, start of each week, and then just freeze it all. And then just obviously scran it throughout the week. That's the plan. I'm not a genius, honestly. Oh, I just realized my microphone's like this. Right. The next solution I have, and this one's for rest, right? The solution I have for this is something you can definitely do, and I do not want to hear any excuse as to why you can't do it. It is set time limits for your social media apps. And you may go, Scott, but I post on this and I have to interact with all these people and I have to make sure that I reply to messages. I don't care. I don't care. You do not do it on all platforms. If you're in property investment, right, and you're spending hours, like 5 hours on TikTok, what are you doing? What are you doing? So set limits. 30 minutes. You wouldn't believe how far 30 minutes goes. Now, if you're mindlessly scrolling, 30 minutes goes like that. It's not enough. If that is your, like, what you want to do. However, if you want to use it for just replying to messages, reaching out to people, replying to comments, each comment reply takes about 10 seconds. Yes, you may need to post, and it might take a little bit of time to like post something, but that might take about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm telling you, 30 minutes on each one is enough. And if you have like Facebook, and you have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, that's still 2 hours. You're still getting 2 hours in. And if that's not enough, then I don't know what to tell you, because those 2 hours could be allocated to doing something a lot better anyway. But I think it's good not to just fully cut something out, because then the stress of not having it will just distract you from regular work. That's my plan anyway. So I do 30-minute time limits now, and I've got enough time. I am always, well, not in the last couple of weeks, because burnout, the theme of the video, right? Obviously. So I've tried it and it works. The 30-minute thing, it works. Now I love to scroll on TikTok, so it's not enough for that. But for what I do, I post, I reply to comments, I reply to DMs. I have leads coming through on Instagram. People that I need to reply to, like this is money generating stuff. And the 30-minute time limit still works. So try that and let me know how it goes. And I also have stopped all business work at 7 p.m. Now I'm recording this at 10 to 8. Now, to me, this isn't business, this is my hobby, which brings me on to the next one. Starting doing things that I enjoy. And with the last video that you may or may not have seen, and with my Instagram content, I've started to do things that I enjoy. And I've stopped caring about followers and subscribers and likes and all that bullshit. Like, I've stopped caring about it, because that caused me stress too. If I was getting like 10 followers in a day and I got one the next day, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Or if I got like half the amount of likes and half the views, all that fake shit, that was stressing me out big time. So in order to change that, I've decided to just create content that I like. Create content for me that's, say, 2 years ago, Scott, 3 years ago, Scott, when I was starting all of this out. That's who I'm creating this for. And my God, that definitely helps. So that's what I enjoy. That's not work to me. Yes, it complements the business, because I get leads. I get people reaching out asking, how do they work with me? How do they invest with me? But I'm just lucky enough that the thing that I love doing most also helps the business. Now, the third one was exercise. I've started just going for walks. Simple. Because I know all of these changes are going to be overwhelming. And if I do all of them, if I just go straight back to boxing and no social media and all of these things, like it would just be too much. So I'm just going for walks. And I might jog if I'm on that walk. But I get out of the city. The city's noisy, the city's chaotic. I'm from like a tiny place in the north of Scotland, and I live in a big city now. So getting out of the city into the hills, into the trees and fresh air and the silence, that's where I can feel good. That's where I can relax. That's where I can truly de-stress. So getting out of the city and having me time, turning off that 4G, turning it off, and only people that have my number, and if they call me, can get to me. And that way I can just completely relax. And that's where content ideas come from. That's where like business ideas, like business plans come from. And just allowing myself to just disconnect, that is definitely helping. Now I understand that I've talked about me. This is how I've helped me. And you're like thinking, that's good for you, Scott. Congratulations, well done. You just spent how many minutes bragging about how you've managed to solve your burnout whilst I'm sat here wondering, how do I solve mine? And I get that. And I get that it might not work for you, these specific things that I've done, but don't take it too literally. Figure out the cause of it. So for me, I was pretending to be someone that I wasn't in order to make the business grow. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't resting, and I wasn't doing things I enjoy. Ask yourself all of those questions and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Am I doing those things? Am I actually eating healthy? Or am I just like having a banana each morning and then just eating shite for the rest of the day? And I think that I'm eating healthy. Or I think that my calories aren't as much as they actually are. If you tracked your calories for 1 week, you'd realize, holy shit, some things have double the amount that I actually thought they would. And I want you to ask yourself, are you resting enough? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough downtime? Are you switching it off? Are you switching off the 100-mile-an-hour business, the grind, right? Because if you get caught up in that, you'll not sleep. And the business starts with you. And if you don't sleep, you don't get enough rest, you can't get creative. You can't be sharp. You can't make fast and sharp and good quality decisions. So make sure you're getting enough rest. And the next one, exercising. Now, it's easy to sit at a desk. And that's nice to have a standing desk. You might have a standing desk, but that ain't going to cut it. Are you going outside? Are you leaving your apartment? Are you leaving your house? Are you going outside into the air, the fresh air, and going for a walk? Are you going for a run? Are you, I don't know, doing any other form of exercising? But you might think, Scott, I don't like exercising. It's tough. I don't know what to do. I suggest going for a class, because you might meet people there. And when you meet people and you feel part of a group, you realize other people in that class are starting. For example, when I went to boxing, I boxed up in Scotland. I'm not pro, I'm not an amateur or anything like that. I didn't even compete or fight anyone properly. I just went for the training. And when I went to one in Sheffield, I didn't know anyone there. I was scared. Like, it was, not only was I nervous that I didn't know anyone, I knew I was going to get punched in the head like many times. So like it was nerve-wracking. But when I got there was 3 other people that were just brand new. They were brand new because they single you out at the start. They're like, who's never boxed before? Who's not boxed in a long time? You pop your hand up, they take you to a side and they just teach you the fundamentals again. And then you know who else is new. And then you connect with them. And then you all just understand that, yeah, we're new. It's cool. Let's just stick together. And the funny part is the people that are there that are experienced, they also help out because they were new. So if you're scared of going to a class, if you're scared of exercising, if you're scared of doing all those things, and I get it, I know what that's like, but just know that they were all new first when they started. And there's going to be other new people there as well. So exercising isn't just about getting fit. It's about meeting other people outside of what you do, outside of the business that you're in, because it's good to meet other people who also have some shared interest in you outside of the business, outside of work. And the last question you got to ask yourself is, are you doing things that you enjoy? So for me, like I said, I like playing the guitar. I like drawing. Other than that little crap brain that I drew earlier, I do actually like drawing. And I like editing. I like content creation. I like this. This is what I like. I'm not actually talking to a person, I'm talking to a camera. But I feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like I'm talking to Scott that was starting out. And I think you need to just find something that when you're doing it, other people may think it's difficult, but to you it's easy because you truly enjoy it. You truly enjoy it down to your core. Whether it's going to a pottery class, playing football with your mates, gaming, I don't know, playing an instrument, could be anything. Find something that you enjoy, that you used to enjoy when you're growing up, and spend time doing it. Before I hit record, I was just playing on the guitar. I played on it in months, felt great. I loved it. And I'm starting to feel like Scott again. And it sounds so cliched, it sounds so cheesy, I know it does, but I'm starting to feel like me again. And when I feel like me, it helps the business. When I feel like me, it helps this content creation, which ultimately helps other people. So it might start as simple as doing something that I enjoy, but you don't realize how far it goes. Because when you're not yourself, it's tough to be present. It's really tough, you know? I mean, you've seen what Lauren done to help me with this diagram. You've seen how amazing it is. Incredible. She's awesome. Amazing. And when I wasn't myself, leading up to this burnout and during it, I wasn't present with her. So it's not just for yourself, doing these things that you enjoy, focusing on all of these things. It's for the people around you and your business. It's so much more important than you think. Because if you've experienced burnout, You're looking at me and you know, yeah, it's pretty much it. It's rough, it's tough, and it sucks. It sucks. Like, God, can't even put into words. Now I know this video got a bit intense at the end, but if I could tell myself all of this before I burnt out, I would, which is why I made this, and I'm desperately telling you, please listen to what I'm saying and just take on any information that you learn from this video, because if you haven't experienced it, amazing. Congratulations. Like, I'm so jealous. But you got to prevent it. Prevention instead of reaction. That's where you want to be, and that's where you want to do. And yeah, there's not really much else to say at the end of this. If you enjoyed this, if you found this helpful, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm on a road to 100 subscribers. Woo! God. Yeah, if you know someone that is in a bit of a rut, is going through a lot of stress and is feeling a bit burnt out, send them this video. It could help them. If you are going through it, you're not alone. This is it. This is rough. I know multimillionaires that go through this shit, and it's normal. It's just better to prevent it than to react to it. I'll see you in the next one.